The STEM Society.
What's going on, guys? My name is Cole Jackson. This is the STEM Society. Welcome back. If this is your first time ever watching me, one, thank you for hitting play. And two, if you like what I do, because what I do is not very easy, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys let everybody know you enjoy hip-hop content right here. If you are a consistent listener, thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming back. I'm going to be very unscripted on this topic right now because there's a lot of things going on and that I'm kind of like catching people in a lot of the lies and bullshit that they want to tell. And I just felt like I wanted to make a video about it because it's a lot of problems going on. So here recently, there was a tweet that came out that said, no rap song appeared in the top 40 on the Hot 100 for the first time since February 1990, ending a streak of 35 years, 8 months, and 3 weeks. That's per Billboard. Now, Billboard has everybody up in arms about hip-hop, and every time we get a tweet or every time we get something like this, the first thing everybody wants to say is hip-hop's dead, hip-hop is terrible, hip-hop is in a bad place, we need to figure out what's going on. And I'm kind of tired of that narrative. I mean, let's be honest, hip-hop fans are very fickle. That's facts. You guys don't follow anything but the big major stars, Drake, Kendrick, beef in general. And it's kind of to the point now where we don't even care about the music anymore. Well, not me. You guys have gotten to the point where you only care about numbers. How many did they sell? What was the first week's sales? Where did they chart at? Those types of things. And if we're being honest with each other, because we're having a great conversation, that's not how hip-hop works. Hip-hop doesn't work like this. If you think hits is what makes hip-hop popular, then you've completely missed the point. Now, I would never say that hip-hop is in a bad place because it's the number one genre in the world, no matter if we chart or not. We set the trends. We always set the trends. So the biggest thing for me is, well, where's the problem at? Why haven't we charted? Well, one of the reasons is because Billboard, the same people who put this story out here are the same people who changed the rules on how many times you can be in the top 40. If you guys don't remember, Kendrick was in the top 40 for a very long time until they changed the rules here recently, which pushed him out of the top 40. The rule change came abruptly and it was all of a sudden, but nobody talked about that. Maybe a few real hip-hop platforms talked about that, which I'm going to get into the hip-hop platforms, but we didn't tell everybody about what's going on as far as like how Billboard changed rules and why it's going to be different for people to be able to chart. Nobody talked about it. So that alone, the same entity that's starting all the chaos when it comes to hip hop being dead is the same entity that changed the rules to keep hip hop from being on the charts for so long. Luther would still be there if the rules didn't change. Look it up for yourself. I'll even post something right here to let you guys know what's going on. So let's squash that right there. We just have another platform that's just trying to cause chaos and actually start conversation and may want to make sure it's built around their website, their platform. That's one of the biggest problems I have. But there's other small little problems that we're having in hip hop as well. I was listening to my homeboy, Sid Davis, who hosts a show called The Social Introvert. Shout out to Sid. I love you, bro. And he said something that I wanted to say, but he got to it before I got to get to it. Our platforms suck. Our new hip-hop platforms are terrible. And you want to know why? Because they don't want to spotlight new artists, new music, or any of that shit. All of these new platforms care about is the Drake versus Kendrick because they got so many views, because it got so many clicks, because it got so many likes. We barely even spotlight new artists. And I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty of doing the same thing. There are a lot of times when I could most definitely be pushing new artists or actually telling you guys about new artists that I've come across, and I don't because it might not get me the views that I need. But that will change. I promise you that will change. But there's so many talented artists out here that none of these platforms push. The Bigger Picture doesn't push that shit. The Joe Budden has taken away sleepers damn near every episode. They barely do sleepers anymore, but I don't think that's a music podcast. Roy and Mal, they just hook up with their homeboys and have interviews with them. Not a lot of new talent. And I didn't say zero new talent shows up on Roy and Mal's podcast, but there's barely any. Act don't even push nobody. If it ain't YoungBoy, Drake, if it ain't a lot of these people who already got a name, they don't talk about it. And they don't get into those types of conversations anymore. And that's what we need. See, a lot of the problem is, too, the people who are the talking heads who try to dictate what we're supposed to listen to or what's hot, they ain't even in touch anymore. They're not in touch with any of this shit that's going on. They hate new music. A lot of these new hip-hop talking heads or regular hip-hop talking heads are stuck in the early 2000s because they feel like everything sucks. They never were a part of the evolution of hip-hop and where things have gone so far because they forget that hip-hop has new pockets now. Hip-hop has new places to go. People have new voices. And they never really get into those types of things because they really don't give a fuck. They give a fuck about pulling up, getting a check, talking about Drake, talking about Kendrick, maybe J. Cole every now and again. They're worried about Young Thug. They're worried about the gossipy bullshit that makes their platforms move. And that's fine. Get your bread, homeboy. Get your paper. But don't come on Twitter, don't come on these platforms and complain or say, well, everything's okay, everything's fine. You know what I'm saying? When you're supposed to be the platforms that tell us what's hot and what's new. Y'all don't do that anymore. Prime example. DJ Head had a really interesting tweet. He's part of one of the bigger platforms called The Bigger Picture. Let me read you this tweet really quick because it's very long, but I think it's relevant. This headline is misleading because it lacks nuance. Billboard charts are not the end all. However, it is a metric that we all accept, which is great. However, the charts have undergone many changes over the years that reclassify hits, take into account bundles, streams, as opposed to actual sales, termination dates, etc. GPT, Billboard qualification changes over the years for clarity. Number 2, what has not changed over the years are hit records. Like it or not, that's what drives the business and will continue to do so. We all love the spirit of rap competition. However, the biggest ones always had both in order to ascend to the stratosphere of metrics. 3, contrary to popular belief, a hit is not subjective. It's a universal language that we all speak similar to math. 2 + 2 = 4, no matter what language you speak. 4, I love the I'll do it myself mentality. However, collaborative music will most likely always win. If you don't know how to do something, spend time learning or get with people who can do the thing. 5, my messaging has remained the same over time. It's not about making songs for me or my radio stations. It's about crafting musical experiences that will last beyond virality and allow you and your families to eat in this system of things. These thoughts are mine. Make records. You'll love the results. Love. So that tweet was very interesting to me for the simple fact that you have a huge platform, Effective Immediately with you and Gino Views, which I think is a very good platform. It's pretty cool. I don't think that you guys highlight a lot of talent because you have this unreal expectation of having people be the bar. Everybody's just like, a hit's a hit. Well, a hit ain't shit until you push it, right? Don't you have one of the bigger, you're on 2 huge platforms. Why aren't you pushing new artists? Oh, wait, it's got to be AZ Chake, somebody who was on Kendrick Lamar's album, right? You guys don't really necessarily highlight I haven't seen you guys highlight new artists when I see the clips. I see Gina Views standing on tables and chairs telling niggas to get in the booth and rap.
I told you niggas to shut the fuck up.
She's standing up.
I told you niggas to shut the fuck up and get in the fucking booth.
Get in the booth.
Get off Twitter and get in the fucking booth. I don't want to see no more tweets on Elon Musk's internet.
Where's the new talent that y'all supposed to be spotlighting? Where are the new talent? Like, I know everybody can't suck, bro. You live in Cali. Everybody's not trash. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that you guys could put on your platform and give an opportunity. See, that's where we're having the disconnect right here. You guys have the platform. You guys have the voice. You guys don't use any of it. Do you think that is that many people out here in music that is trash that you can't push. And see, people get it twisted. They think DJ Head is a journalist. No. DJ Head is a DJ, a real one. Tell you the BPM numbers and everything. So with you having that knowledge of being a DJ, for you having that knowledge of knowing what slaps, why don't you bring some of these artists on your platform to tell people, hey, this is who you guys should be investing in. Hey, this is the guy that's going to be next up. Hey, he's got some heat. He's got motion. He's doing something. Listen to him. What, your platform doesn't allow you to bring people up who you think are good? Because that's you're on Sirius, right? Sirius XM. And you have this huge show. So I'm just saying, bro, and the bigger picture. One of the tweets that I seen was from my dear friend Elliott Wilson, who blocked me on Twitter, that says, DJ Head, we have a slap problem. Slaps. We have a slap problem. We're not getting the slaps. That's the problem. We don't get the slaps. Is that what you guys all listen to? Elliott Wilson is one of those people who have been there from the beginning. He's a pioneer. He was big on the magazine era. He was big in the blog era. And he's continuously doing good work now. But again, you're supposed to be the voice of hip hop. You have a huge platform called The Bigger Picture. You're one of the big wigs over there at Uprocks. And I go to Hip Hop DX. I don't see you guys with no articles about new artists coming out. I don't see you guys putting those types of people on your platform. 9 times out of 10, when people actually come on there to actually talk about something, when you guys take the calls in or the video calls or whatever the case may be, you're pretty much talking a lot of shit to people who really want to hear great hip hop content and want to know who's next up. And that's just my interpretation of it. I mean, yeah, Jeremy Heck is up there. Oh, wow. Jeremy Heck, he is one of the guys who knows hip hop. He's been on the Joe Budden podcast, actually was a guest. He is the face that we should be looking at and should get us a better understanding of what new artists are out there. Jeremy Heck might not be relatable to a lot of us. Just saying. He's new to the game. And I think you've probably empowered him pretty well, but there's not a lot of people out here who rocking with Jeremy Heck like that. And I think a lot of y'all know why. I'm not going to say it, but I understand why it is what it is. My biggest thing is the platforms just don't care. And they don't want to put in the work to give you guys what you've been looking for, which is new hip hop, which is new artists. That's another problem that we have. We have a really big problem with pushing new talent because we're so stuck in the blog era. We're so stuck in the fucking 2000s. We're so stuck in the 90s. Nobody wants to take a chance to say, this guy. Nobody wants to take a chance to say, y'all better start paying attention to him because he's coming. There's a few out here who do that, but their platforms are not big enough. And that's the thing. There's a lot of people who sit in front of these microphones that'll tell you guys what's going on with Meg Thee Stallion and why Klay Thompson's not playing as good as he used to be. But they will not sit down and dig through any kind of new music to find out anything about people like SD Kid or Black Sam or one of my guys from the UK, Sibo. They won't sit down and sit up and listen to their music and find out what's going on with those types of artists. They won't give you a heads up. I personally, again, feel like my responsibility, because I built this platform, to give you guys, to tell you guys who's up next. I'll be honest with you. I stopped doing a lot of my playlist stuff because nobody was taking a chance on it. Nobody was listening to it. Me being the type of person I am, I'm living in the UK right now, trying to maneuver through being a hip hop commentator and giving you guys what's hot over here in the UK and still staying up with what's hot in the US. I'm trying to stay tapped in as much as possible. And it's deflating sometimes when you have an ear and you say, hey man, this is who you guys should be listening to. And a lot of people not rocking with it. So I understand, but my platform is still growing. These are established platforms. These are platforms who have an opportunity to lend you their voice to let you guys know who's out here really making noise. Shout out to UK Rap Daily, who put together this cipher here recently of a lot of underground artists. There are people out here who are trying to give you guys the game and let y'all know what's going on. But it's a two-way street. If you guys don't support us, who want to give you guys the update or who's tapped in on the new talent that's up and coming, then what are we doing it for? I still do it for the love. I do it for the love because I love having a platform. I love being able to sit down and talk to you guys about music intellectually. I love being able to just break the artist and do that just do that. Right now, I don't have the means to be able to give you guys interviews like I want to, but it's coming. I guarantee you it's coming. But until these guys get off their high horse, until these guys understand that they're the ones who are leading the hip hop media space, until they understand, like, we don't get new acts on the Breakfast Club. Joe Budden won't talk to you unless you are hot. He will not fuck with you. Again, they don't even put sleepers on the Joe Budden podcast anymore. Barely. So what are we supposed to do? How do we find a new talent? Because that's the biggest thing. If we want hip hop to stay alive, we have to push new artists. We have to push new talent. We have to find the music we have to find the people who are making the great music, the slaps, like these niggas want to keep on talking about. We got to stop being so gossipy and learn how to take chances with music and learn how to take chances with sticking our name next to somebody who's up and coming that we know is going to handle this shit the correct way. I went a little bit longer than I thought it was going to go, but I do want to end on this. Quantity does not always equal quality. Facts. I don't care what people like academics say. I don't care what people like DJ Head say. I don't give a damn what Elliott Wilson says. I don't give a damn about a lot of these hip-hop talking heads who are basically stealing money. We have to get back to what we know, which is finding the good shit, sharing the good shit, and let everybody know it's good shit. If we don't do that, bro, we're never going to get out of this hip-hop is dead circle that we always get into every fucking year, because it happens every year. Hip-hop dies at least twice a year. So don't be afraid to let people know who your favorite artists are. Don't be afraid to share music on the internet. Don't be afraid to tell people, this is who I fuck with. Y'all should try them out. Because no matter what you do, no matter how good they are, there's always going to be people on the internet that's going to bash whatever you like, because it's not what they like. It's tribalism in hip hop these days. And that's another big problem that I don't want to dive into, but it's real. But this problem that we have about hip hop dying or not being what it is, when a lot of these other platforms, the shift is coming, the shift is here, it's all happening, all of these great catchphrases that these niggas keep saying, check their record and see if they're actually putting y'all on new artists. Check their record and see if they're actually telling you guys who's hot out here in these streets. Check their record and see if they're actually talking about anything outside of Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, Young Thug, gossipy bullshit. And I guarantee you'll find a platform that's not tapped in. I'm guaranteed you're going to find a platform that doesn't understand what's going on with these artists. They don't support independent. They don't buy music. They don't do any of that shit. They just want to sit up here and be salacious and argue like a bunch of girls. That's all I got for this topic, man. If you have your own comments about what's going on with hip hop, why we're not charting, if hip hop is dead, make sure you guys put it down in the comments. I promise you I go back and forth with y'all on some positive intellectual hip hop shit. But I appreciate y'all joining me for this out of the blue episode, and I'll catch you next episode. Peace out.
She is kind of fucking with my money, but I meant everything I said, and I say it again.